WWE is facing some major fan backlash after a racially insensitive remark on Monday Night Raw was uttered on live TV. We are going to take a look at what happened, break down what it means, and also discuss the potential ramifications and add to the discussion that's going on online about this. We're also going to talk about an update on CM Punk and his status with WWE, as well as what WWE thinks of him just about a year into his return to the company. All that and much more coming up right here in this video, so be sure to smash that thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right, first things first, though, we got to talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw. There was a segment that involved the Damage Control group and Adam Pearce, as well as Carlito, that has everyone talking, and for the wrong reasons, quite frankly, as there was a remark that was uttered that definitely should not have been by Carlito during the segment. Now, we are going to take a quick look at part of the clip from Raw just so you guys can get acclimated to what exactly happened.
Thank you. I gotta learn Chinese. What do you want?
So that was the remark that Carlito uttered on Monday Night Raw. And, of course, the backlash has to do with the fact that, Io Sky is Japanese and not, indeed, Chinese, as Carlito inferred and implied there. And I want to be clear about this, right? There's more to this story, as Fightful Select has reported. We'll just take a quick look at the report so that we can get the facts and then kind of break down what this means. The claim internally from at least one staff member was that the line was not scripted and that they had spoken to were in disbelief that it was said. Internally, there were a number in the company that weren't happy it happened. We've not heard of any action or heat on anyone for the situation as of yet. That is according to FightfulSelect.com. Link for the full piece is in the description. The report also kind of outlines the context that we're living in, as well as Io Sky in the past has faced, a lot of racially charged bullying online. Obviously, very disgusting in my opinion. That has to do with, her ethnicity, but also this conflation of different cultures in countries within Asia. It's not good. It's not good. I don't think this helped at all. But this has started a bit of a conversation online. A lot of fans are upset about it. And to those people, I say, you probably are right. I definitely think that if, this was a line, as reported by Fightful, that was kind of just ad-libbed in there, Carlito was wrong for saying it. And there's no way to defend it. It wasn't funny. Didn't come across as funny. It wasn't even one of those cheap pops. No one reacted to it. So before people say, oh, I found it hilarious, I think a lot of that is projection from people who, don't really want this to even be a discussion because they believe you should be able to say anything without any accountability, right? And I think, when we talk about things like these, there's a line to be drawn between accountability and cancel culture, because that's what every little snowflake online right now is crying. This is cancel culture. But it's not cancel culture to point out that this was a messed up thing to say. Even if Carlito misspoke, which very well could have been the case, it's not cancel culture to say it came across as disgusting. It came across as hurtful. It came across as insensitive. None of that is untrue. And none of that has anything to do with cancel culture. Because I'll tell you this, guys. I'll tell you this much. If I was at work and I'm in a meeting or I'm in a public place where all my coworkers are, and one of them came up to me and said, oh, I got to learn Arabic. knowing damn well that's not what I speak, because I speak Urdu. Shout out to my homies in Pakistan. I would feel some type of way. Now, does that mean I want that person fired? No. Does that mean I want that person suspended? No. But does that mean there at least needs to be a conversation or an apology or something? Yeah, definitely. And I don't think anyone serious here is asking for Carlito to be fired. Nor do I believe that Carlito, if this is like an isolated incident or whatever where he misspoke and he said something that he shouldn't have, right? We can all agree. It was a messed up thing to say. He shouldn't have said it. But if this is like an isolated thing, then, I think that he should apologize to Damage Control, first and foremost. And then, obviously, they can move on from there. And I like, always want to say this. Like, there always should be room, like, for grace for people to make mistakes. And this very well could have been a mistake, and that's fine. But my issue with the conversations I've been seeing from a lot of snowflakes online is there's like this immediate need to project about something you don't know. Very similar, like in my view, to the way Logan Paul kind of projected, his transphobia. And I'm not trying to compare these two, but it's a principle of projection, right? Like they project things that they don't like or things they're mad about onto situations that probably don't fit into what they're talking about. I think we saw a bit of a parallel there with the Logan Paul situation and with Imani Khalif. Him using that as like a reason. I think you're seeing a lot of people online right now use this situation as a reason to call out cancel culture when no one serious is calling Carlito to be canceled, and call out like, oh my God, WWE needs to be canceled. Like, man, if you think this billion-dollar company that has like multi-billion-dollar media deals with every single streaming service, every single brand, you think they're going to be canceled, man, you are smoking something serious. Like, that is crazy. Like the power in this country, right? The power in this world goes to the people with the money, people with influence. WWE has plenty of money. They have plenty of influence. Ain't nothing going to change with that. All right? They're not getting canceled. Ain't nothing happening to them. In fact, I could argue there was more cancel culture around in the Attitude Era in the 90s when people were complaining on a weekly basis. And think about how much harder it was to complain and get people's attention back in the 90s. You had to call people. You had to set up like meetings, community meetings, like get write-in campaigns, all this kind of stuff in order to try to make change. Here, you just have to send a tweet. And I think a lot of it is like people just seeing stuff online, getting mad, and like, the opinions and the voices are louder. And again, it is fine to, I think, like it is fine to take this as a mistake, but you have to acknowledge that it was a messed up thing. You have to acknowledge, and again, I mean, you don't have to. If you don't want to listen to me, that's fine. But you have to. But you have to acknowledge that there is at least a difference between trying to hold someone and something to account versus trying to cancel someone. And I think the thing that gets lost in this, right, are the feelings of the people who, were probably most likely hurt. Like Io Sky, Kairi Sane, Damage Control, many of WWE's Asian fan base. Like that, on some level, you feel it. So I think, when you're having these conversations, it's important to kind of take a step back, look at the perspective, and realize what's happening. But the backlash, in my view, is justified and I hope that this was just a slip up by Carlito. Like, that's the best case scenario. It was just a slip up and there was no extra context to it. This is not calling Carlito a bigot or anything like that, but at the same time, you have to acknowledge that it was a messed up thing to say. There's a path to move on. Hopefully everyone can, and hopefully Carlito can learn from this and just not, engage in that kind of stuff. But I know I'm going to get grilled for that take, but I'm here to give you guys the realest take. So be sure to smash that thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell as we move on to a little bit of a lighter story. Actually, a much lighter story, quite frankly. CM Punk in WWE. It has been nearly a year since CM Punk entered the fray in WWE. And nearly a year into his return, we are now learning that people within WWE are quite happy with CM Punk. So Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select apparently responded to a question of CM Punk's new contract, explaining the following. His current deal isn't even a year old. I'd heard that the two sides had engaged in talks a while back for something more expansive, as things had changed since they abruptly put together a deal. So far, WWE has been very happy with Punk back in the company, and everything has gone really well so far. So for those of you who are saying CM Punk's going to crash out the second he gets into WWE and CM Punk is going to lose his mind, fight everyone backstage, that did not happen. In fact, I think this is probably the calmest, coolest, and most collected version of Punk that we have seen probably since his return to AEW in those first couple of months. And honestly, all the stuff that happened in AEW aside, put it in the rearview mirror. I am glad that we are at a point where the focus of CM Punk and the focus of what he's doing and the focus of his journey in wrestling has nothing to do with backstage politics, has nothing to do with backstage fights, has nothing to do with his backstage persona. It has everything to do with what we're seeing on the screen. And while there were some things, that bracelet stuff especially, that was not particularly my taste, I have very much enjoyed CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre over the past year. I thought they told a very well thought out story. The motivations were there. I thought that they did a lot, even with Punk's injury, to use that as a way to expand on the feud. And personally, I think that match he had with McIntyre at Hell in a Cell was one of the best matches I've seen all year. He had the chance to experience it live, so that's really the update. They are working on a new contract, and I think you could very well expect CM Punk to be around. I honestly, at this point, could see him be very much involved in NXT one day and maybe even be a producer in WWE. Like, I think he is going to be like that mentor kind of to the next generation, which, look, say what you want about CM Punk. He's done a lot of good, done a lot of bad. I have disagreed with him on some of the stuff that he's done backstage. At the same time, though, I think if he's happy, if things are going well, that is probably best for, obviously, him and WWE, but more importantly, that's best for us as fans because we get to see one of the best in the world. I'm not going to say the best because Bryan Danielson's still out there somewhere. But one of the best in the world do what he does best. Guys, let me know what you guys think, though, in the comments section about CM Punk. What do you think about a year into his return to WWE? Has it gone exactly the way you thought it would? Has it changed? Has it been a little bit different? I want to hear from y'all. Also, be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released.